If I hadn't have pursued education, I would probably be a pediatrician and making a lot more money. but I wouldn't be as happy as I am now.
Good morning. You know what I've noticed? I've been seeing more smiles from you lately. Yeah.
I hated school from the time I was in kindergarten all the way through my sophomore year of school. So there was not really ever a time that I liked being in school. I was considered gifted, but I also had behaviors. So, you know, the kid that was under the table or throwing chairs or disrupting the classroom, that was me. I also had a lot of trauma too, and so that trauma expressed itself in many different ways. And by the time I was in high school, I just did not really like being there. And I had a principal who would tell me all the time, like, as soon as you're 16 years old, you could just drop out of school. And so as soon as I turned 16, I was like, yep, I'm dropping out of school. I think because of who I am, it made me be like, well, this isn't the end. I'm not going to stop. So I went on and continued to get my GED, and I graduated from my medical assistant program before they all even graduated from high school, because I was not going to stop. I wasn't going to let those things stop me. And I wasn't going to let that one person keep me from, being a better version of myself. While I was going to school to get my bachelor's in biology, I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter, and I didn't want to leave her. And so I was like, I'm just going to get my bachelor's in education, in early childhood education, and I'm going to open my own child care center. So while I was in my program, we had to do field work, and I saw some of the same things that happened to me happening to students that look like me. And I realized that I can be the person to make a difference in those students' lives. I had a teacher named Marsha Pointer, and she was the person in my life that was like, I believe in you, and I could see you, and you are going to do these great things. And I realized I could be that person for the kids in my classroom. So.
My name is Reyes Cruz. Miss Lewis was my favorite teacher. When I'm in reading, she for me to sound out the words first, and then if I don't know, she helps me sound out the words.
Miss Lewis helps me, I'm not understanding so much English, but she's explained so much for me, and then this is so special for me.
If I didn't have Miss Lewis as a teacher, I feel like in school I wouldn't really like school that much, and I wouldn't like reading books that much.
She's given me confidence to speak in class.
What? Do you want to go for a walk?
Working with PEBC had built my confidence. Taking on the learning from going to the Thinking Strategies Institute and seeing that learning come out in my students helped me realize that, I'm a good teacher,
When we hired Candice, we saw right away that not only was she going to be a strong teacher, but she was also going to be a strong leader in our building.
She has a special way about her where she loves to just lift people up and let them shine and pull in resources so that people can maximize their potential.
She has a very strong way of building relationships, not only with students, but with staff, with advocating for the needs of kids, with holding kids accountable in their learning, but also really loving them and taking care of them.
Candice often elevates PEBC and the great work that the organization does. Recently, she was privy to some information about a coaching institute happening and took it upon herself to elevate it to our principal, who then purchased admission tickets for us to go. So our whole coaching team got to go to that and experience that learning together, which was great because we were there, and were able to collaborate during that time and bring it all back and apply it together.
And teachers reach out to her for planning support, for resources, which is really exciting to see. So she's a wonderful part of our staff.
I am really excited for the work that I do with PEBC and the work that PEBC does across the nation. And I just know that the impact that PEBC has on education is going to make a lasting impression.